Argard, halt! Freeze and out!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ground force we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets when fled upon bursting did prove through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order! Up! Part-time work! Forward! Work!
You may be seated. The Miranda High School choir is led by Miss Sarah Ross. Sarah, I want to thank you and the choir. You guys always do a beautiful job and make these events very special. Thank you. What a beautiful morning for a ribbon cutting ceremony, huh? Once again, welcome to the Town of Marana's dedication ceremony for our new police facility. We're so glad you could join and celebrate with us. Before we get started, however, I'd like to recognize the two groups up here on stage. Seated to my left, your right, are Mr. Jamshid Mehta, our town manager, Mayor Ed Honey, Mr. Rick Carr, who's the project manager with Abacus, Mr. Michael Rosso, who's the lead architect from Architecton, and Mr. Todd Steffen, who is the president of Core Construction. And to my right, your left, on the opposite side here, is Chief Terry Rosema, Captain Roberto Jimenez, Lieutenant Tim Brunenkamp, and Lieutenant John DeStefano. There are so many dignitaries in attendance. I see commanders, police chiefs, fire chiefs, politicians, and leaders out there. It would be impossible for me to acknowledge all of you, but I want to thank you for sharing this moment with us. Thank you for being here. You know, as I look at this brand new building, it's hard to believe that just 16 months ago, this was a dirt lot. We broke ground on this facility on June 7th of 2017. But of course, with all large construction projects, there's a lot of planning and prepping that goes into the project way before you even get started. This project started as a vision in 2011 when Chief Terry Rosema was appointed as chief. And he shared that vision with me and the command staff 8 months later when I joined. You know, as I look at this beautiful building behind me with its state-of-the-art equipment, a couple of things strike me. One, is this elevator up here ever going to work? It's pretty big. No, what really strikes me is how this building really complements the entire campus. It looks like it's always been here, doesn't it? And the second, and probably most important thing that strikes me, is that none of this would have been possible were it not for the support that we got from our community. Our community overwhelmingly passed a half-cent sales tax so that we could fund this entire building. So what a tribute to them and their support. But it gets better, folks. When the funding for the building was complete, the mayor and council on October 16th repealed the half-cent sales tax that taxes promised, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a definition of good, responsible government. This building is a tribute to our community's unwavering support and to support and teamwork from all of the town's departments. This was possible because of the support and guidance from the town's leaders. Here to talk about that is our town manager, Mr. Jamshid Mehta.
Good morning, and welcome to the Town of Marana's newest major addition on this campus. What a beautiful facility this is indeed. Well, it has to be, because some of us are going to be watching it and looking at it all the time from across. Marana is a growing community. In fact, our very economy depends on continual growth. And unlike other cities and towns that have a center, they have one center from which the town grows outward. We grow along corridors that connect three centers. It's a unique situation we do have. And North Marana is one of those three centers, while Dove Mountain and South Marana are growing at a fast pace. It is this area that has the most potential to grow as well and very well into the next century. Probably more like 5 years ago, when Chief Rosema was actively making the case for a new modern police facility, going around in the community meetings after meetings, citizen groups, homeowners associations, businesses, the chamber, the town council, and the manager's office, we clearly had choices in selecting a site. We then looked at our general plan, our growth patterns, our ownership in land and public utilities, and it made perfect sense to be here in North Marana. It took leadership and perseverance to bring a vision forward. Fortunately for this town, we have Terry Rosema. We had another great leader who too had a vision and the leadership qualities that make great things happen. Gilbert Davidson, my boss and Terry's boss, at the time when big decisions had to be made. This too is a product of his vision. The town council, who I know recognize this police force as the finest anywhere, recognized the need and gave us the means to bring it all to fruition. And then there's the rest of us who made it all happen. There are 15 functional departments within the town of Marana. Almost all departments had played a role in this building through charrettes, design meetings, a lot of arguments on materials, how long will it last. Many of those discussions had happened. And for those who have a role in maintaining this building and all the fancy equipment that goes into it, yes, I can see your requests for more staffing in the next budget season. We'll take a look at it. All the coordination happened through the town's engineering department, and Jennifer Krisselman, who coordinated all the efforts, included everybody who had 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, and made this all happen into a nearly $23 million asset. Congratulations on a job very well done. For those of you moving into your new home, whether in uniform or plain clothes, you had a role in making your new home functional and productive. You had a hand in choosing your colors, your desks. I hear even the size of your chairs. You know, there are a lot of equipment that has to be carried. That's all I meant. We spend more than half the time at work through our busy lives, and what a better place than this one to make it as comfortable as possible. And finally, to all of you who subscribe to the motto, unparalleled service, unwavering protection, you deserve this and a whole lot more. So thank you and welcome home.
Before Chief Rosema's vision of a new police facility, Mayor Honey and the council had a vision of Marana's future. This project would not have been possible without the mayor and council's full support and guidance as well. Please welcome Mayor Ed Honey.
Thank you, Chief. You know, when we started talking about this project, we had one big issue. How are we going to pay for it? $23 million building, all new facilities, we're going to need a lot of new equipment and everything else. And we all put our heads together and said, the Miranda Police Department is so loved by our community that maybe we should ask the citizens and the business leaders in our community if we could do something kind of out of the box. So we went to the Chamber of Commerce, we went to HOAs, we went to big business. The chief lobbied every single person in this town. I think he spoke to all 45,000 people. And we said, what do you think about the idea of a half-cent sales tax so that when we build this new police facility, we're not going to have a debt for 30 years? Everybody seemed to agree with it. So we passed the half cent from the dais. Not one phone call, not one email, not one letter, not one complaint in the newspaper, because the people of the town of Marana love our police department. You know, this is one of the few police departments. You hear about policing on the radio and on television all the time. And people are cutting down police officers, the men and women that protect us. I said in Miranda, if you made a comment about a police officer, they would beat you up, not the police officer. You know, and what I'm really proud of is you see this beautiful building, it's paid for. We own it, free and clear. A lot of people had a vision, you know, whether it's Gilbert Davidson or John Sheed or the chief and senior staff, council members. I went around to lobby people a lot, and every time I went into a business to talk to them, they said the chief's already been here. So finally I kind of gave up, you know. I figured the chief had covered the entire town. I am so thrilled about this facility, and there's a couple assets as part of this facility that I'm really proud of. We have K-9 officers that work in our police department every day. They help protect the lives of our police officers in serious events. But we didn't have anywhere to put them. You had to leave your K-9 officer in the car with the air conditioning or the heating running and that kind of stuff. I'm very proud that we have kennels here now, so that if an officer's off or needs to be gone for a couple days, we have a place for the K-9 officer to take really good care of them. The other thing I really wanted to see in this was that firing range right next door. You know, our officers, is it every 6 months, Chief, they have to be recertified? You know, and you had to go to the firing range down here at Wong's, and I'd hear the bang, bang, bang down there and everything else. We now have a range that's state of the art that our officers can come to and our teaching staff can come to every day. I'm really proud of this station, but I'm even more proud of our police officers that are going to fill it. Thank you very much.
So now we have the support of the manager's office, we have mayor and council on board and their support, and of course our fantastic community is supporting us. So now we began a competitive process to identify a team that could deliver on the visions we had for this new facility. And I think we found the A-team. In fact, I know we found the A-team in Abacus as our project manager, Architecton as our architect, and Core Construction as our builder. We worked closely as a team with these three companies and in the process developed a very strong and good relationship with them. Please welcome Richard Carr with Abacus, Mike Rosso with Architecton, and Todd Steffen with Core Construction, the team.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Nunez. I'm Rick, by the way, with Abacus. And on behalf of Abacus Project Management, I would like to congratulate the town and the community of Marana on this milestone in your history, the grand opening of your new police facility. A job well done, Town Council and Mayor Honey. We also like to express our gratitude to the town for the opportunity to serve as the project manager on this facility. This new facility is state-of-the-art. It is designed with the vision of Chief Rosema to create a collaborative environment among all the police departments to enhance the service to the community. It has extensive police training facilities and engages the communities with spaces and services, making it an asset for many years to come. At moments such as these, the memories from this project come back, but more importantly are the people that were involved. And I've had the good fortune to work with a tremendous team here at the town, starting with Jamshi Mehta and his staff, Police Department, Chief Rosema and his staff as well, Deputy Chief Nunez and Captain Jimenez, as well as engineering, Keith Brand and Jennifer Christelman, and my fellow partners here in the construction and design process, Core Construction and Architecton. The leadership from all, design input, and reviews and information gathered from police, the co-management with engineering, and the collaboration with the project team has been phenomenal. There are many more besides those, and there's a couple I'd like to give some special recognition to. I had some great help from a couple people in engineering. That would be Kurt Schmidt and Greg Senlak. They were integral to the day-to-day work during construction, reviewing submittals and RFIs and doing the inspections, and definitely could not have done it without them. But more importantly, the two key people that made this project a success, Jennifer Christelman and Chief Rosema. Now there's a saying that you can't necessarily serve two masters at the same time, but I've been doing that for about the last 3 years now. So Jennifer would say go this way and Terry would say go that way, and I had to sort it out. But I can't think of two better people that put their heart and soul into everything that they do every day here for the town and the community. Are great examples of the quality staff that you have here at the town, and we all worked well together to sort out the direction that we should proceed with so that you'd have this beautiful facility. So with that, congratulations to the Town of Marana on your new police facility.
Wow. Finally, the Miranda PD has a home that was built for them. I have a little story I wanted to share. A couple of weeks back, I was doing a site punch walk, and I noticed Mayor Honey standing out here just staring at the building. With intensity, he was just staring at it. And I thought to myself, I was like, wow, he doesn't like something. I better pull my pen out and write some stuff down. So I walked over to him, we exchanged some condolences, and I asked the million-dollar question. So, what do you think? Without pausing, he said, it's a great facility. It complements and completes the town complex. But he was still kind of looking over my shoulder, looking over here, and I'm like, what's he looking at? And he said, because remember back when we were doing our visioning sessions, and we were trying to figure out the placement of this building? One thing that was very important to me was having that connection between the park and the town complex. And he's looking at this breezeway right here, and he goes, that was my idea, that was my vision. I said to him, yeah, that was yours. And I said, also, how the second floor branches over the two buildings and creates this shaded space in front of the community room. That was Jennifer Christman's idea. how the building flows. That was Chief Rosema's idea. How the staff and officers approach the facility from the secured lot. That was Chief Nunez's ideas. The fitness area, training areas, that was Captain Roberto Jimenez's ideas. And property and evidence was Tom Mooney's ideas. The idea behind this is that this facility is all your ideas. The only thing we did was help to put it together. Projects like this take a dedicated team, a passionate team that have a similar vision. We feel that we have some of the best leaders who are part of this project. And I think it's important to note that without the support and the dedication to the PD department by Mayor Hone, Vice Mayor John Post, council members Dave Bowen, Roxanne Ziegler, Patty Comerford, John Officer Herb Kai, and the late Carol McGoy, as well as town manager John Chi Mehe, this would have been possible. You made this possible. I got the pleasure of working with great people from the town that Rick mentioned, Jennifer Kirstenman, Kurt Schmidt, Greg Sindlack, Keith Braun. Facilities with Brandon O'Connor and Lee Boyett. They let me know all the time what I need to do better. David Spurlock and the Northwest Fire Department guys. I'm a lucky person. Us architect, Tom, we do a lot of public safety facilities, and we've seen a lot of different police departments. And I want you guys to know, the citizens of Miranda, to know that you've got quality, dedicated officers here at Miranda. The department is full of quality people. In the last 3 years, I've gotten the pleasure of working with some great leaders in Chief Rosema, Chief Nunez, and Captain Roberto Jimenez. It's a working relationship that I'm happy to say developed into a friendship. These are great people, and you guys are very lucky to have them. I applauded and admired their vision of this facility and their dedication to enhancing the quality of service to the people of Marana with their department. I applaud and admire the respect and devotion that they have for their staff and their officers, both current and future. I also applaud and admire their character and leadership as individuals and friends. It's going to be tough to walk away from this project. It really is. I also wanted to take the time to give thanks and respect to a lot of our consultants on this project. People who did the consultants that did our mechanical, plumbing, electrical, IT, AV, security. They're a one-stop shop from Henderson Engineers. Elisa Coco, Laura Brandt, Octavio Dalala, Jared DeStories. Our structural engineer was Greg Bricky from Bricky Design Group. Civil engineer was Francis Maha from EPS. Our landscape designers were Jason Kuklinski and Amy Webb from Norris. And I also want to thank our interiors, our staff of Architecton that made this possible. My boss and my mentor, Joe Salvatore. I also had a person who worked with me but is no longer there. His name is Aaron Stauffer. Without him, this wouldn't have happened, and I'd look like I'm 60. Miles Roberts, Glenn Wallenhop, Tom Brown, Adam Platt. You guys are all crucial in this. Interiors were done by my real boss, my wife, and the real brains behind the operation, Rachel Rosso, and Alyssa Robinson. Interior and the furniture was done by Kaiser Workspaces and Rollentex, so Jessica Kaiser and Janetta Klopp. I have a card right down here with big letters, because last time I gave a speech at the topping out ceremony, I forgot to mention a key, very, very key person or group in this process. And without this, this wouldn't have been possible. It's rare to find a contractor that has got the same visions and goals as the design team. And we've been lucky to work with Core Construction on many projects, and they understand what it is to serve the clients, and they understand the design process. They had their backs against the wall from the very beginning, and they came through with this beautiful building. Kudos to them. I wanted to give special thanks and for the dedicated efforts of Todd Steffen and Jake Otting, Fred Knapp, Kevin Merrill, Mike Stasek, Tracy Garrison, Jose Acosta, and Nas. I can't pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. But he knows who he is. This group is a shining example of why Core Construction is one of the best contractors in the state of Arizona. And it was a pleasure working with them. I thank you for letting Architecton be a part of this, and welcome home.
Wow. Thanks, Mike. I got your $20 in my car. Yeah, he agreed to. So. No, I appreciate it. He's exactly right. Everyone that's spoken so far, it has been a unique team. It has been an extremely unique team. From the city manager's office and the mayor and engineering, everybody in that building over there, to Chief Rosema, Deputy Chief Nunez, and Captain Jimenez. I'm going to tell you, this team kept it unique and interesting all the time. Also making sure that everything was being considered, you were getting the best you could for your dollar. In fact, when Jacob Otten and I came to have our meeting to go over the final numbers for this building, we walked into what typically was a conference room to find a desk set off to the side with interrogation lights pointed directly at it and 2 seats there where we justified every nickel and dime for this project. So they were looking out for you and looking out for a community that trusted them implicitly to build this building the way they have. And so first and foremost, thank you to the community. You put a lot of trust in all of us, and I can tell you from someone who's built a lot of these, this is a unique facility. We have never built one of those before, I tell you. In fact, if you could get out from underneath that. No, believe me, it's sound. I want to thank Tracy, Jake, Jose, Mike. You guys are here today. Kevin, it truly, I was here from day one, seeing how things were put together in here, and there is a lot of passion that went into everything about this building, how it was constructed, the materials selected, everything was extremely intentional. And I just want to finish with this, that there is no better client to work for than those of you that serve us day in and day out in this community. You get up, and while we had challenges on this project and had to work through it, the worst case scenario is you know, we had to talk about a day here or costs there or what have you that we worked out as a team. You guys, on the other hand, if things don't go right, you put your lives at stake. And so we thank you for that, and there's no better effort that we could put out there than for those of you that are going to serve us in this building right here and put your lives on the line day in and day out. So again, we're humbled to be a part of this. We thank just both Rick and Mike and Joe with Architecton, and as they had mentioned, we never try to play architect or consultant. We build things. That's what we do. To see their passion to serve you guys and what they drew up here and what they insisted with regard to quality that was put in here was second to none, honestly. So again, thank you, thank the team, and enjoy your new home.
Boy, you can really feel the love out there, can't you? Love it. As every speaker has said, this was truly a team effort. And I would like to I feel like I'm at the Emmys because I'm going to go through a list of names of people that were with us from the beginning. From the beginning of the project. Eric Montague, he was the money man, so he was very important. Jennifer Kristelman, Kurt Schmidt, Brendan O'Connor, Lee Boyett, Mike Bettis, Dan Bejarano, Phil Davis, Kevin Merrill, Tracy Garrison. He kept everybody there, making sure everybody was on time, finished their jobs, and kind of kept us in place too. Told us when we could come into the building and go out, right, Tracy? Jose Acosta, Nas, Ibrahim. Did I say it right? All right. Jake Otten, Mike Stesic, Nicole Katsur, Todd Steffen, Richard Carr, Diego Toledo, Adam Brill, Joe Salvatore, Rachel and Mike Rosso, Jessica Kaiser, and Ronnie Zimba. She did all the beautiful art in here that you'll get a chance to see here in just a bit. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication. Okay, our last speaker is the man with the vision for the police department. He was appointed as chief of police in January of 2011 and set his sights on making the Marana Police Department a role model for public safety agencies in the state of Arizona. He has been described by his bosses as being extremely persuasive and relentless in getting the support that we needed for this and many other projects. It's hard to say no to him, especially when he offers it's hard to say no to him, especially when he offers ice cream as an incentive. Of course, I'm talking about Chief Terry Roosevelt. Chief?
Thank you. For those of you who think that this is my speech, it's not my speech. I haven't prepared a speech and I don't know how long. I choose to just kind of speak from the heart, speak from the gut, and that's just kind of what works best for me, I guess. I don't know. That or I'm too lazy to sit down and write a speech. But I brought this up here because this is actually management team meeting minutes from January 26, 2011. And I found this as I was going through my office, cleaning stuff out to move over. And the first thing, and this was one of the, if not the first, one of the very first meetings. It was in the first month that I came to the town. And the very first topic is discussion. We discussed various options are being considered regarding the direction we want to go with a new police station, to include remodeling the current location, looking at other available buildings, and ideally building a station from the ground up. And so here we are, right? And it's been a long journey. Yeah, cool. And you know, everybody has you know, lavished a lot of thanks and praise on the people, and all of it very deserving to the people that have been involved in this. And I'll echo just a few of them. One of them, obviously, to our community. The mayor, a couple of people talked about the number of meetings and discussions I had with members in the community, and so overwhelmingly supportive of this whole project. It was incredible. It was so neat, and 100% of that support that we have from our community goes to these guys right over here who are standing, our officers who are out there serving this community, because they do such an amazing job. Absolutely, they do such an amazing job of providing unparalleled, which means unmatched, you know, unparalleled service to this community, that we didn't get any pushback on this thing whatsoever, and that was huge. You know, the fact that this thing is paid for, like the mayor talked about, the fact that no one showed up to contest it. In fact, multiple people showed up to support it, and it's absolutely incredible. And it has been a long journey. In fact, I remember at the very moment that I knew we had to do something, it was actually before I started. It was actually right about this time, 8 years ago, before I even was offered the job, and they were taking us on a tour of facilities. And they took us into the police station on Ina Road, and we walked into the front door. And as I walked into the front door, as I stepped in, if you were here at the groundbreaking, I told this story, I'm telling it again because it's a great story. And as I walked in the door, I immediately looked, and there was a guy sitting on a bench made out of 2x4s. And he was in handcuffs, and he was handcuffed to a ring attached to the 2x4s. And I looked down at him, and he looked up at me, and he goes, "What's up, dude?" And I looked at the guys behind me, and I looked at the guys in front of me, and went, "Somebody punking us here? I mean, this can't be real. This can't be the police facility." And while the guy is sitting there in handcuffs, right across the way are the people, the seniors going into their Zumba class. And like 15 feet away were a group of officers holding briefing. And I met, you know, when I got the job, I met with Gilbert Davison, and his name was mentioned. I texted with him last night because I knew he wasn't going to be here. I texted with him to thank him because he is a huge part of why this everything happened here, without a doubt. Huge supporter. Never underestimate the power of a peanut butter parfait. He loves peanut butter parfaits, and he was very motivated. The more he got, the more he pushed to make this thing happen. It was a beautiful thing. So I knew then, and we started talking about it from the very beginning, and in March of that very year, in 2011, we had a leadership team getaway to Heritage Highlands, and we sat down and we talked about what things do we need, what are the things that you guys need in order to provide better service, to elevate our game, as Captain Jimenez is fond of saying, to elevate our game in terms of providing better service to this community. And they rattled off thing after thing. I actually found the flip chart that had all of those things on it. And every single thing that was on the flip chart is in this building. From K-9 facilities to holding cells to workout facilities to meeting rooms to classroom facilities to defensive tactics areas, you name it, we've got it all. I mean, this is a world-class facility. And you know, this whole process, like I said, it's been a journey, and it's one that at the very beginning, you know, it's kind of like this. So, like, you know, when I was dating my wife, and you know, things were progressing along well, and then we got engaged. You know, I had an idea. I had, like, you know, some idea of how our life was going to be together. But I really didn't fully comprehend that and understand that until we actually got married and started raising our family together, how awesome it really was, right? Now, I'm saying that, obviously, because my wife is here and I want to score some points, right? But in addition to scoring some points with my wife here, I'm using this analogy to make a point, and that point is, as we started this process, I had an idea of what this facility was going to be like. I had this vision of how it was going to look and how everything was going to work. But nothing, I mean, not the blueprints, not the 3D diagrams, not the virtual tour with the goggles could have prepared me for how amazing this facility is when it is fully built and you're walking through it. Unbelievable. And, you know, Mike over here, our architect, he gave a lot of credit to, way more credit, you know, to myself and the deputy chief and Captain Jimenez and other people who were involved, because, I mean, we had ideas, but this guy took ideas and took them to the next level and has created an unbelievable facility. And I just want to thank you, Mike. I mean, unbelievable job. I couldn't have asked for anything better. The guy is literally a genius, and so it has been an amazing journey. It's been a fun journey. We talked about, you know, the relationships, and those relationships that were forged with Core Construction and with Architecton and with Abacus, and I think Mike actually said it. He said, you know, what started out as partnerships have turned into friendships, and I'm really going to literally miss our weekly meetings and our discussions and our time together. We have become dear friends, and I hope that those friendships continue. I talked a little bit about this at the groundbreaking, I think, perhaps. I remember sitting in my office having a discussion with somebody, and the discussion veered to the topic of the facility, and this person said, you know, we all know, Chief, that this is going to be your legacy, this building. And I thought about that, and I thought, gosh, I certainly hope that's not true. I really hope that is not my legacy. And the reason I say that is because I didn't become a cop to build buildings, and I didn't even become a police chief and come here to the town of Miranda to build buildings. We came here, and as a team, our legacy, I hope, is one where we have instilled and implemented a philosophy and an ideology and a culture of policing that transcends time, that we go out and we provide a level of service to this community, like I say so often, that is absolutely unparalleled. And to the extent that this building assists us in doing that, then that is part of the legacy. But if at any point that this becomes, if it doesn't help us provide that level of service and increase our level of service to the community, then it was all for naught. And there's an old saying, you know, two of the greatest tragedies in life are not getting what you want and getting what you want, right? You know, not getting what you want because you feel like you've been cheated or you've been robbed or always wondering what if, and getting what you want because sometimes when you get it, you develop attitudes, and those attitudes are attitudes of entitlement. And I have often stated, contended, asserted that, you know, the greatest enemies to our profession are not robbers, rapists, and murderers. The greatest enemies to this profession are apathy, complacency, and entitlement. And I want you all to know, I want the town manager, I want the mayor, I want the council, I want the community, I want the officers that are here and the officers that are not here to know that this facility will not go unappreciated. We will continue to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, and you will know that we appreciate all that we have been given here by the way that we go out and serve you. It is absolutely an honor here to be here today, to be your police chief, to serve and to be a part of this. I do want to take one moment to acknowledge two other people that the deputy chief did not acknowledge, who have been such a huge part of this. I mean, everybody else's names have been out there, and it's all well deserved. But Deputy Chief Nunez and Captain Jimenez over here, in addition to the rest of the command staff and other leadership team, but those two guys specifically have done so much work on this project and have pushed so hard and have had such great vision for this unbelievable group of people to be a part of, and I appreciate so much the work that you guys put into this. Absolutely. So these guys were all supposed to only take 2 minutes to give me 45 minutes, but now I only have a half hour, so I got 15 minutes here to fill. But I want to thank you all for being here today. We're going to be doing some tours, so if you're interested in going through the facility, we'll try and get as many of you in and through the facility as we can. I do ask that town employees not go through the tours now. We've been offering those leading up to today. We've been in here for a couple of weeks. But public safety, media, if you're members of the community, we'll try and get as many of you through the facility so that you can see it and just really appreciate, not only from the outside, but the inside, all the amenities and things that really make this a world-class facility. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate it. So I guess now is the time for the ribbon cutting, and I was told that we have to cut it in one fell swoop. So we'll see how this goes. So I guess if we get everybody.
One, two, three.
Okay, folks, there's some refreshments and cookies and stuff back there, a salad. Thank you, Nicole.